Trevor in the last couple of weeks has been more consistent?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, as an entire unit, obviously that's the goal, is to be more consistent week to week. And Trevor's no stranger to that as well. But that's all of us as a group. We want to continue to grow and get better as we go week to week.
How do you feel sometimes about this offense where you're moving it, you get a nice drive in the first or the third, or you're doing some nice things with Brian or Trevor, but the points just aren't coming? Like, what's that wrestling match for you?
Yeah, same deal. It's just about being consistent down in, down out, and what it looks like. Even last week, we went down to score, we got points the first drive, but there were some hiccups along the way that we felt like were self-induced. And those are the things that you kind of got to get out of the way. Now, there's some drives that it's football. You're going to get stopped. They're going to have a better call than you. What's the situation? What do your bad plays look like? Your bad plays can end in turnovers, can end in negatives. If the defense kind of wins the down and we settle for a 2-yard gain on second and long, so be it. We'll continue to play down to down, but we can't let that get us down. It's just continuing to play the game throughout the game. And that's like we said earlier, just being consistent down to down.
You have receivers that have done some things in the league, resume-wise, and obviously here. But I think you guys lead the league since 22 in drops. Does that surprise you?
It does. It does surprise us because that's what we see in practice, what we see, the extra, all the work ethic that those guys have, the character those guys have, the production those guys have. To hear that and see that surprising at times, yes.
Okay. Coach, general question, just as people learn the game more and more in the UK, can you talk us through the first 15 plays and what are you looking to do as a coordinator in that period of the game? Yeah,
so the first 15 is generally, we kind of just call them the first few now, because it may go 15, it may go beyond, it may go less. They're really just an idea of things we want to get to early in a game. And it's really as long as the situation is what we hope, what we call normal down and distance situations. Second and 15 is not a normal down situation, so we may veer off the schedule. If the first play of the game were to all of a sudden start it at the 5-yard line, plus or minus, we may veer off that script because, again, the situation dictates to do something different. But they're really ideas of how we want to play in first and second down. And the goal with that is things that would get a lot of guys in rhythm, would get the line settled into the game, would get certain players touches or opportunities for touches early in a game, get our quarterback settled in. Maybe it veers into a tendency breaker of things we've shown a lot on tape that we know people see, and now we want to, kind of go against what they've seen or what they're planning for going into the game and just put a little bit of doubt in their mind early in a game. So there's a number of different things you do. Sometimes it's being aggressive on first down to start a game. Sometimes it's the first play of the game a lot of times is unique to who you're playing as well. Maybe we want to set the tone and be aggressive. Maybe they do something unique on first down to start a game that we need to be conscious of and just get ourselves the right starting play.
But just to follow up, so there's an X's and O's part of that, but is there a human emotion part that you talked about players getting touches? Do you feel that as a coach, okay, we want to get this guy going early?
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes it's maybe we want to attack this player early just to test him. Somebody came off the injury report, whatever that may be defensively, or they have a premier player at a certain spot and we want to show early on how we're going to manage the game with this certain player. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of thought into it. It really kind of starts tonight. We'll start throwing around ideas of the message we want to send early in a game, whether to our guys or to the opponent as well. And then you just kind of build and tweak it. And I might go right up until kickoff of all of a sudden we want to change this because we want this guy to get a certain opportunity early on.
Chris, when you have some drops like you did last week, the drops are frustrating, but do you also feel like, okay, we're getting something because the play's working? I mean, in terms of trying to build for going forward.
Yeah, there's certain things that I think you want to try to sell to your guys. There's times early in the game we felt like we drove down the field. We had an opportunity to touchdown. We didn't get it. But you do feel that momentum on the sideline. All right, we can establish a tempo or a way we want to play right here in this game that, yes, it didn't result in the touchdown we want, but this is a long game. This is what we're capable of doing against this defense. This is the message we want to be able to send. So there's a lot of positives you can build off through the course of the game, and it's about keeping the right mindset throughout the course of a game because the first drive is not going to dictate a win or a loss. It's going to set a standard for the way you want to perform throughout the course of the game, but it's a long game, and it's going to take all 65, 70 plays, all 60 minutes to play the game.
Are those self-inflicted things preventing you guys from finding an identity, or do you feel like you have one on offense?
Yeah, I mean, anytime, I think that's the biggest thing is when we look at those things, they're things that we've caused. And we just kind of, our slogan, our turnaround is just all about us. And when we go back and watch a game and it's, okay, this happened, how much did the defense really have to do with the errors, with a false start, with a drop pass, with a missed throw, anything like that, that we want to go back, okay, is this showing up in our practice preparation? Did we prepare the guys for the look we got in the game? Are we doing all these little things right? And so we just want to focus on ourselves and make sure we're doing the right thing down in, down out.
Coach, obviously the season hasn't gone how has been expected so far. How important has it been? You guys have all been here together for another week in London, away from Jacksonville and the noise of the home fans.
Yeah, I think it's great just being together and just spending time with the guy next to you, because ultimately that's all you have. It's the 11 guys on the field at one time competing together, doing your job. You got to do your job really well, so the guy next to you can do his job really well, so the guy behind you can do his job really well. All these little things. It's really about focusing in on your details, doing your job, and then 11 guys doing the same thing, and we're playing as one unit. That's kind of the ultimate goal of what we're looking for. And so spending time together in this environment, there's really nowhere to go. So guys are hanging out, guys are having meals together. I do think that's valuable.
How would you assess the progress of Lewis Rees-Zammit? And as an offensive coordinator, you're obviously focused on Trevor and Tank and all of those guys that are going to be on the field on Sunday. But how much do you kind of still keep an eye on those guys who are developing?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time working with and specifically continuing to develop our practice squad guys at the time, Lewis being one of those guys. It's been fun just to watch him grow in football. I mean, he came here having played running back in the preseason in Kansas City. We've transitioned to a receiver. Every single week, you just see him get a little bit better throughout the drill portions into when he's on the scout team serving the defense. And just, he's hungry for it. He is talented. It's new to him. So I mean, take anybody and drop him in a new sport, and it's at the professional level, there's going to be a lot of learning. But he does have some physical skill set that's fun to see and see what he can become moving forward.
There's obviously some questions. Travis, this week, we haven't seen Tank be able to handle a heavy load of carries. Do you think he can, and what could that look like on Sunday if he has to?
Yeah, we do. I mean, I think Tank is built for that. I think that's something that he hasn't had the opportunity yet, because we have a pretty good stable of backs that we want to get opportunities to, and that's just kind of the way it's gone. But that doesn't mean that hasn't been indicative of we don't have that confidence that Tank can do that as that opportunity comes. But we have a lot of confidence in Dearness as well. If we have to activate somebody, we have confidence in that room to be able to perform. We're not going to put somebody out there that the group doesn't trust. Coaching staff, players, all that type of stuff. So we have a lot of confidence in Tank if the workload were to increase moving forward.
Bryce, I know you haven't gotten the results you wanted, but what do you like about what you've gotten going so far? Anything?
I really like the process and the mindset these guys have. I mean, you watch us practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These guys expect to win. They do the right thing, and even Mondays watching film, they take accountability for the things that we do wrong as a unit for every single play, whatever that may be. So you know that if we just continue to stick with the process, do the things the right way, that eventually things are going to turn and go our way. And sometimes all it takes is one play. Making one play kind of feels like that weight comes off your shoulders a little bit. Guys free up and play a little bit, because I think it's just human nature to you want to start to press, you want to start to do these things, but we just want our guys to fall back on the process we've established and what we believe in to be successful.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.